Giving you a live look now at the United Center in Chicago. The Democratic National Convention is 5 days away. Pro-Palestinian supporters are planning to appeal a judge's decision that will prevent them from getting too close to the convention. They wanted to go right up to the doors. The judge says you can't do that. That's still in the process of playing out legally. Joining me now, Chicago's Deputy Mayor of Community Safety, Garien Gatewood. I was just saying to you in the break, you're a busy guy, and when you've got a political convention coming to town, it makes your job even more hectic. Give me an assessment of where we are in safety preparations right now. Any concerns going into this big event?
Well, there's always concerns in general, but we are prepared from the city of Chicago perspective, from our partnership with the federal government and our partnerships here on the ground, the Chicago Police Department, the Office of Emergency Management, the Chicago Fire Department, and all of our agencies are working together around the clock from a safety perspective so we can make sure this is the best convention that the world has ever seen.
So when it comes to this type of national security event, the Secret Service takes charge, right? They have the lead, but local police have a critical role. Given what happened in Pennsylvania at the Trump rally, all of that got muddied, right? The communication. How has that factored into planning for this convention?
Well, our communications have been strong with our federal partners from the very beginning. We've made sure that communication has stayed strong. We've made sure we've been in strong partnership and deliberate partnership. So while that event was very tragic and very scary for the folks in Pennsylvania and obviously for the former president, we've made sure that our lines of communication have stayed strong, open, and consistent with our partners in the federal government and our partners here on the local level.
You came in with the new administration. You've been in the job about a year. How much of it has been planning for this 1 week, this convention?
So I'll tell you, a lot of it has been planning for that, but in the city of Chicago, we host over 100 events every weekend, right? Some large like Lollapalooza, like NASCAR, obviously like the convention. So we're accustomed to large events here in the city of Chicago. We do them better than anybody else, and this is why this will be the best convention that the city and the country has ever seen.
One of the unique challenges is, one, the United Center is in more of a residential neighborhood. Also, there are a number of venues. You got McCormick Place. How does that influence security and spread out resources?
Well, you bring in additional resources and you have that partnership level. And again, that goes back to the strong communication that is needed between entities to make sure the McCormick Center and the United Center are taken care of. But beyond that, we still have 2.7 million people in the city of Chicago to keep safe. So while we're focused on the DNC, we're also focused on the people who live in Chicago and the folks who are visiting Chicago to make sure we keep people safe throughout the entire city.
Yeah, the closer we get, I know that we'll see rolling street closures. What is your message to the thousands of people coming to Chicago and the people who live here, and just the necessity of getting around?
Yeah, enjoy Chicago, use public transportation when possible, and partner, right? Enjoy the city and everything that it has to offer. It will be an exciting time to have so many people in the city, upwards of 100,000. But if you think back, just a couple of weekends ago for Lollapalooza, we had 115,000 people here for 4 consecutive days. So we're accustomed to having people in the city. We'll welcome them with open arms.
Yeah, this is what you guys do, right?
Yes,
You're good at it, so bring it on.
Yes,
you've got protesters, though. We're expecting tens of thousands of protesters. They're already coming in pretty unhappy because they've been restricted to a certain area. Do you expect that to change or alter with still a few days before the event starts?
I expect us to work with protesters. I expect our administration, along with the Secret Service, to continue to work in partnership because, look, we want people to be able to protest, exercise their First Amendment rights peacefully, and we want to give people the space for that. So we want protesters, right? That's a part of this work. That's a part of the spirit of the city of Chicago. We don't have this mayor that we have in without him being a protester, so we welcome protests.
The judge, however, has said they cannot come to the door of the convention, right? They have a designated route. They're not happy about that. If they go against that and head towards the convention center, what then? What's the plan?
Well, we're in constant conversation with protesters around what this work will look like. And this is, again, something we've been doing for quite some time. We've had protests every weekend in the city of Chicago, upwards over 100 pro-Palestinian protests over the last few months. We've been in constant conversations with them, and we'll stay in conversations with not just them, everybody else who wants to protest. We've had also community meetings with folks who lead the charge in protesting so we can all work together to move towards what we want. We want people to be able to deliver their message. We also want to keep the city safe.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.